Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Blue, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Norris, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Oscar Piastri, Joe, Ocon, Bottas, Webber, Albon, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. The last few races have been a bit rough for them, unable to get a clean run. That's got to have some effect on their confidence, surely.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. We're almost ready to start the sprint as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 10.6 seconds. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So let's review the drivers' standings. A result that will make Sergio Perez happy as he pushes his championship lead out even further. With the sprint wrapped up, we now have our grid line up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. Welcome to this visit to the Ardennes countryside. Spa-Francorchamps hosted its first Grand Prix back in 1925, and this historic track is loved by drivers and fans alike. And us here in the commentary box too. So it's a warm welcome from the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps is a 4.35-mile tour of the Ardennes countryside, with 9 rights and 10 lefts, giving us a grand total of 19 corners. Average lap speeds in the dry can reach about 145 miles per hour, but without a significant improvement in the conditions, we're not going to be seeing anything like that today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Blue, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Norris, Gasly, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Zhou, Hulkenberg, Albon, Bottas, Webber, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Joining me on this very wet day is a man who's no stranger to driving in miserable conditions. Anthony Davidson, you've driven open cockpit, you've driven sports cars. How does the wet weather experience change between the different disciplines?
Well, I wouldn't say there's much difference in all honesty. You know, besides the terrifying closing speeds you find in something like sports cars with different categories all sharing the same racetrack, driving in the rain is, well, driving in the rain. Of course, the biggest difference is the fact that Formula One is open cockpit. On one hand, they'll be cold and wet without a roof, but on the other, it's much simpler to pull a tear-off away from the visor than it is to clear a dirty windscreen, so I don't think it's too bad.
Right then, the formation lap has started, and I must say the weather conditions aren't the best today for visibility and for grip. As each driver performs this lap, they'll be wanting to settle in and concentrate, as this race, in these conditions, will require a lot of focus. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong?
Got a lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button. Okay, we've lost a position. That's us down a place. It looks like we're running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly. No rain expected, no rain expected for the time being. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now. DRS has been enabled, DRS is now enabled. Pitting this lap then, coming to the pits at the end of this lap. And that's just 5 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, gap ahead is 6.4 seconds. Right, let's go, come on. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Good job, nice overtake. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 4.8 seconds. is in the pit lane. Mark in the pits now. Our gap to the car in front is 1.6 seconds. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Green flag. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
What a great race then, and a magnificent victory here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. So let's review the updated driver standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Blue.
Let's move on to the constructors. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.